recently read Wonder by R.J. Palacio, I think. I read it with my sixth grader. This is only the second book in my reading challenge for till May. Of course, I got to get to 25. So it is a fiction novel, and according to the book, it was printed in February 2012. The main idea of the book is that we should all practice kindness, tolerance, and acceptance of others. All right, so I'm going to give you a quick summary. So, it's about a little boy named August who has some type of rare chromosomal problem that caused his face to be really deformed, from my understanding. Um, and, of course, this led to him being, kind of isolated from other kids and picked on a little bit. He's gone through a lot of surgeries to try to correct it. Later in the story, he even gets hearing aids because says that he sounds like he's underwater a lot when he doesn't have the hearing aids. So he ends up he's been homeschooled most of his life, but then his mom decides for fifth grade to send him to Beecher Prep, and he doesn't initially want to go, but he does decide to give it a shot after doing a tour of the school with Jack, Charlotte, and Julian. That's when he kind of semi befriends Jack, or Jack rather semi befriends him. But then Jack and him have a lot of the same classes, and they are always sitting together because the principal kind of arranged it that way. So him and Jack become friends by default, because Jack realizes that it's not that bad to be friends with the deformed kid, and that he's actually kind of funny, and they laugh a lot and have fun. Summer becomes his friend because I guess Jack decided at lunch he'd rather sit with some quote unquote normal kids. And so August was sitting alone. And so Summer left her friend group to come sit with him because nobody wants to play games anymore. They're all about like talking about the boys and just standing around and talking. And she finds that boring. She wants to be herself. She doesn't feel like she can with her friends anymore, but August makes it very easy for her to be herself, and they can play games and just be kids and enjoy being kids and not trying to grow up so fast like everybody else. And so she kind of enjoys that. August and Jack do end up having a falling out due to Halloween. Jack was apparently having a moment and badmouthed August, but he doesn't really know why he did that because he does like him. But August overheard, so it caused them to not be friends for a little while until Summer kind of gave him a hint for as to why August was so mad at him, and then he realized what had happened, and they made up. He has some issues with his older sister Via, briefly, because she's always been there for him, always loved him, always supported him, and never cared what other people thought about him being her brother, always wanted to be with him. And now suddenly all of her friends have ditched her, and so she's going through a lot now that she's in high school, and no one knows that she's related to him in this high school except for those two girls. So she decides that she doesn't want to invite him or the family to the play that she's in because she knows that they'll bring him, and that kind of hurts his feelings because, well, so they have this huge fight, and then after the fight dies down, there's a problem with their dog Daisy, who they've had throughout the entire book, and it's been kind of like a key part of it. Daisy ends up getting sick and dying, which kind of brings him and Via back together. He goes away to camp briefly, and some seventh graders from another school harass him. They do end up having to replace his hearing aids, but Jack comes to his defense, and he comes to Jack's defense, and then Amos and a couple of the kids that are friends with the main bully, Julian, also come to his defense, and that kind of makes him more popular, and they end up going to graduation and uh, fifth grade graduation, and he ends up getting medal. So it's a pretty good book. All right. So August obviously is the main character. He's very kind, very sweet, kind of funny. Is able to pick fun at himself. He's really into Star Wars, although he starts trying to hide that when he starts going to public school, and he's learns how to accept and love himself as he is. Via is his older sister. She's struggling to come to terms with high school and kind of liking that nobody just associates her as being his older sister. And she has her own struggles, but overall, her and August are pretty close, and she's a seems like a pretty decent person. Summer, she's just a fifth grader who doesn't want to grow up yet and is still wanting to dress up as a unicorn for Halloween and loves to play games and wants a real friend. Jack, he's a little complicated. He has mixed feelings. He likes August, but he also wants to be with normal kids and no one will hang out with him because he's friends with August, so he loses it a little bit, loses his friendship with August and realizes that, he wants it back, and so he makes up with August, and then Julian tries to convince him that's a bad idea, and they get into a fight. But overall, I think he decides that it's better to be friends with someone who actually likes you than to be friends with somebody who just is putting up with you. Miranda is one of Avia's friends that ends up ditching her at the beginning of school. Um, it's kind of unclear to me as to why. I think some of it just dealt with the fact that Via asks more questions than the other friend did, and she didn't really want to tell her some things that happened over the summer. So they drifted apart, but they come back together after the play because of August and all that jazz. Justin is Via's boyfriend, and he ends up standing up for Jack to Julian and his friends whenever they harass Jack on his way home from um, August's house. He kind of walks up because he has a fiddle type. He has some type of instrument. I'm pretty sure it's a fiddle in his thing that kind of looks like it might be a weapon of some sort. So he walks up and just basically tells him to leave him alone. So then Julian kind of starts to lose the war at school because he's like, oh, Jack sent a hitman after me. And nobody, of course, believes him because that's not really what happened. It was just Justin telling him to leave Jack alone because he likes Jack. Um, Julian is the bully. I kind of get where he gets it from. His mom and dad seem to be kind of jerks too. Like they photoshopped August out of their class photos. They offered to do it for other people. They tried to have Jack expelled for his fight with Julian. They tried to have August removed from the school for not being quote unquote qualified, despite the fact that he hits honor roll and is one of the best students there. And they're just basically jerks and told everybody that Jack's fight with Julian was, and Julian helped with this, was just because Jack's becoming mentally unstable from the pressure of trying to be friends with the deformed child. So, yeah, it was something. So I get where Julian gets it from, but that doesn't make it okay. Towards the end, when everyone starts to like August, Julian kind of finds himself on the outside and ends up having, and then, well, I don't know if he has to, but his parents or something decided to move him from school to a different school than the following year. All right, so the themes of this is kindness. Obviously, a lot of it at the end, especially, is all about being kind and how you should always choose kindness, and that kindness gets you further, and how to tolerate people who are different than you, and that everybody is deserving of human dignity and respect, and accepting people despite their differences because you never know how alike you could be till you get to know them. Personally, I think this is a great message, and I really did enjoy this book. It was a great read, and I do recommend it for anyone who would, especially people who have kids who are in middle school, um, to read with their children or have their children read, because it has a really good message about kindness and accepting other people as they are and not being a jerk just for the sake of being a jerk. Um, yeah, no, I really did enjoy it. And if you would like to check it out, I'll leave a link to the Amazon page in the description. Otherwise, go out and spread the love because love always wins, and I'll see you in the next one.